So Stuart Varney is without a doubt the most pompous host on Fox. He might be the most pompous host on all of TV, and he's going to go on a hilarious unhinged rant here defending the mega wealthy and going after the idea of a wealth tax. Take a look.
Senator Elizabeth Warren has an idea on how to pay for her socialist paradise. You got money? She's going to take it. The senator has come up with a new tax. She would take 7% every year from all companies reporting over $100 million in profit. An estimated 1,300 companies would be paying that tax every single year. Rich, profitable companies, well, they don't get much sympathy, do they? And I would expect Senator Warren's proposal to be politically popular. Delivered with a smile, her line is, hey, they can afford it. And besides, the money would pay for children's health care, free college and free preschool. Don't forget that Senator Warren is going after rich individuals as well. She wants the wealthy to give the government a list of all their assets every year. And if she thinks you've got too much, she would confiscate a percentage of your wealth every year. All assets would be included in the list. Stocks, bonds, real estate, art, land, NFTs, cryptos, even your diamonds. Imagine that. Your wealth list every year submitted to the government bureaucrats. This will be life in America. But again, the rich get no sympathy. So Senator Warren's wealth seizure will be popular, certainly among Democrats. You know, this is serious stuff because we're being asked to move way beyond taxation and into the realm of confiscation. Whether your wealth has gone up or down does not matter. If you've got more than 50 million, you pay. If your company makes more than 100 million, you pay. I think it's flat out un-American and probably unconstitutional. The socialists, though, to them, it doesn't matter. You've got it, they want it, and they're going to try to take it.
Damn right, bitch. Oh, I love that segment. You know why it's so funny? Because he doesn't even make any arguments. He just, explains what's happening and does it with a scornful tone. So you're supposed to feel like, ooh, this stuff is extreme because he's talking in a very angry way. But if you just read the transcript could be something that I deliver on this show. Now, all you got to do is take out the word confiscation and take out one or two lines. But let's go through it. I mean, it's kind of hilarious. So he lays out the plan. He says they want to take 7% from all companies reporting over $100 million in profit. Understand, profit. Not the whole company is $100 million and that's all the assets. It's no. $100 million in profit. They want to tax it 7%. He brings that up you believe how ridiculous this is? This is so silly. Why is that silly? If you have a developed, civilized country, you have to tax somebody. You know who I think is the best to tax? The really rich and corporations. I want them taxed so we don't have to tax regular working people a lot. Do you understand that? And by the way, these guys are such frauds because they pretend like they're for tax cuts across the board. But every single proposal from the Republicans in D.C. increases taxes on working class people. We saw this in the infrastructure bill. What tax increases were the Republicans okay with keeping in there? The gas tax, which is a regressive tax that mostly hits working people. So they pretend like they're for tax cuts for everybody. No, they're only for tax cuts for the wealthy. Only. Now, I want tax cuts for regular people, and I want tax increases on the wealthy and corporations. And by the way, just so you know, my position, which I just espoused, links up perfectly with the overwhelming majority of the American people. In fact, there are polls that show Republicans want to raise taxes on the wealthy. So who is this guy's audience? I'll tell you who his audience is. Wall Street thugs and goons watch this. It's Wall Street goons. It's CEOs and owners of multinational corporations. It's the top fraction of the top 1%. Watch Stuart Varney. Yes, Stuart, keep it real, please. Tell me about how I shouldn't be taxed at all. Yes. There are homeless people all over this country. There are homeless veterans all over this country. And your argument is what? Don't tax the corporations that have more than 100 million in profit? Jeff Bezos is worth over $100 billion. We could tax just him and end homelessness. Stuart, would you be in favor of that? If instead of Jeff Bezos being worth $100 billion If we made him worth $50 billion and we took that $50 billion and housed every homeless veteran and every homeless person we could, would you be in favor of that, Stuart?
No, that is confiscation. It is obviously the moral thing to do to have one person with $100 billion and have 500,000 homeless people. Yes.
Jesus Christ, just because you speak in a British accent doesn't mean you're smart, you prick. And then, so to go through it again, the next point he makes is, I expect this plan to be really popular. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for admitting that. That's right. And what we live in is a constitutional republic and a representative democracy. It's a democracy. So the people we put there are supposed to represent us. And guess what? This plan would be them representing us. And then he says, in a scornful way,
they're going to tax corporations that have over $100 million in profit, and they're going to pay for kids' health care and free college and free preschool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Why are you saying it in an angry tone? I'd be saying it I could say the exact same words in a different tone and everybody would be like, yay! So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to tax corporations that have over $100 million in profit, and we're going to pay for kids' health care, we're going to pay for free college, and we're going to pay for free preschool. Everybody hears that and be like, that's awesome. That sounds like a wonderful idea. And then he dares to say, quote, the rich get no sympathy. They have all the money. They don't need my fucking sympathy. I'll spare my emotional state. They can go ahead and swim in their bath of money. And by the way, even if we tax them like Elizabeth Warren is calling for here, they're still going to be mega wealthy. Don't give me this pity the poor billionaires and millionaires argument, man. Just don't give it to me. It's so dumb. Even if we tax them with the strictest proposals that are out there, they're still going to be phenomenally wealthy. They are not oppressed, period. And then the final thing is he likes to bring up confiscation. This is confiscation. If you got more than 50 million or your company makes more than 100 million, you pay. So if people are above 50 millionaires, so if an individual has more than 50 million, they get taxed under this wealth tax. And if a company has more than 100 million in profit, they get taxed under this wealth tax. Only 1,300 companies does this apply to. That's such a tiny number. I couldn't be more in favor of this proposal. And it's kind of astounding to me that he doesn't even want to treat this with like the bare minimum seriousness to actually try to develop an argument against it. It's just like, let me just repeat what it is in a scornful tone, and that should be enough. That should suffice for an argument. Well, it doesn't, Stuart. It doesn't. And if I look at this objectively, if I think about it from an ethical and moral perspective, it's totally fine. If we live in a society that has a social contract, part of the social contract is you pay taxes and there's goods and services that are provided as a result of it. Nobody better to tax than the mega wealthy. Nothing better to put it towards than school and healthcare and things of that nature. So I think this is a wonderful idea. I don't really expect it to pass because we got conservative Democrats like Joe Manchin who might block it and be against it or whatever. But it should pass. And if it did pass, you're certainly right about it would be phenomenally popular. And yes, that would be an argument to keep it in place because, again, the representative democracy thing that we're supposed to live in, that's their whole job. The politicians should be representing the people. But instead, who are they representing? Stuart Varney, but more importantly, the corporations that they're trying to tax here. Those corporations give the most money to politicians. And so most of the politicians are doing their bidding and they're bought by them. So they're not going to end up passing this, but I hope they do.